Ba-da-bum-bum-bum. Hello, hello. Nobody on YouTube. That's fine. All right, bros. If you were with your wife and kids, and if you don't have a wife and kids, make this relatives that make sense, right? If you're with your aunt and your niece, if you're with, whatever, your sister and her kids, et cetera, et cetera. And you're at Walmart, because everybody has a Walmart, and you are with the child, but your spouse or whoever the female is, the non-combative type of person, walked away to the other side of the store to go get whatever, while you stayed in the toy section with the kid. And then while y'all are separated, you hear shots ring out and a bunch of people start screaming, and then more shots. So you're pretty sure it's an active shooter situation. What do you do? Do you try to link up with your wife or whoever, or do you just get out of there with the kid? Do you try to make phone contact? Do you carry any sort of things on you or have any plans with your loved ones of how to communicate other than cell phones, et cetera, et cetera?
Man, that's a tough one. For me personally, man, I think this is why it's important that you kind of mentally rehearse this and you talk about this with your spouse or your family members and kind of have a game plan regarding what stores you visit, know your exits, and know what to do. That's when you're with each other or when you're not with each other. It'd be ideal when you're shopping to stay together for sure. But if you do get split like that, honestly, man, I'm taking the kid out, getting me and the kid out of the store, have them follow someone, maybe another woman with kids. I'm not going to leave my kid unaccounted for. But I think as a parent, that's your first priority, is get your child out. And of course, I'm not going to leave my wife in there. I'm going to go back in and try to figure out what's going on. But I think it's important that even if you're a non-combative person, like you mentioned, that you have a plan. My wife doesn't carry, but it's important that she does. She does what we plan for. That may not mean stay and fight, but get out. And if that means without me, then so be it. That's tough though. Makes me never want to split up when you're shopping out in public.
There was a kind of good anecdote for this I listened to recently about that guy in California that was setting all the fires in stores and everything. And this guy, his wife and his kid died in the fire because they were looking for him instead of getting out of the store. They died from smoke inhalation.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to prioritize, in my opinion. You have to prioritize the child, right? You got to, in emergency situations, you got to go like autistic robot mode, and you're like, cool, kid more valuable than woman, I'm least valuable, so I need to ensure child safety, whatever that means. And then if I have the potential, once child is safe, to make woman safe, then I can do that. But yeah, I think everybody's pretty much on the spot on. Only thing I have to add is I carry a whistle on my keychain, and I try to get my wife to carry a whistle. I'm not sure if she still has hers in her purse or not. And then my son, who's getting older, I'm trying to train him on some EDC stuff, so he carries a whistle on a keychain as well. So if it gets crazy and cell phones aren't realistic to use or cell service isn't working, we can whistle blast to each other. The likelihood of other people having whistles is pretty low, so it's probably us whistling to each other. Just food for thought.
That's pretty smart.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. Who wants to be a squad leader?
I volunteer.
I volunteer as Tribune. All right, Discord, you guys can see that good?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yep. So this is a roadway through a heavily forested area. We have a canal running on either side of the road, just like a drainage ditch. It's about 4 feet deep or so, but it kind of varies. And due to the excessive water in that canal, the vegetation right up around it is kind of even more thick. But other than that, there's still some good vegetation cover. With this zoomed in picture, there's no real elevation or anything to speak of. You are a 13-man, a 15-man guerrilla squad. Your mission is to lay in an ambush. Okay. So I'll just go over what your makeup is. First of all, there's 15 men. There's yourself as a squad leader. You have a radio and a signals intelligence guy. You have a drone operator with a Maverick-style reconnaissance drone. And then you have 3 fire teams of 4 men. Each fire team has 1 SPR-ish kind of sort of weapon, 1 AR with a red dot, 1 12 gun, and 1 1022/AR pistol with like a 7-inch barrel / other, like Mini 14 possibly, or a Draco or something along those lines, right? A bunch of nonsense, but it's all at least semi-automatic and magazine fed. And you can obviously, as squad leader, task organize those teams however you'd like. That's just their default setting, how they are, evenly dispersed with firepower. We have been invaded by Russian paratroopers just to keep everything politically friendly. So we have to fight off those invaders, and we don't have any support. We know that they travel down this road a bunch, everything ranging from supply trucks to military personnel and ACPs, like infantry personnel and ACPs. So we don't really have the schedule, but we know that they come out here often. So we're going to take our squad and we're going to set in place for up to 24 hours and hopefully be able to get busy on a positive ambush. Any questions?
I don't think so.
Nope. Honey Badger, you're the squad leader on this one?
That's right.
Awesome. So you have 3 fire teams and then kind of a little command and control 3-man team. How do you want them placed along this MSR?
All right, I'm going to use compass bearing if that helps you.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is north.
So north. Yep. I'm going to place my support by fire on the southern end of the base, east, facing north.
Right here?
I mean, I'm placing them in the wrong order, I guess I should say.
You're good.
My security down first.
I mean, whatever you want to do, brother. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I'll put the support by fire there, and then I'm going to put my assault element. This is kind of insane, but I'll try to capitalize on the vegetation on the west side.
So hold on. You want your support by fire right here?
Correct.
Facing north?
Well, they should be aligned with the bend in the road, north to south, if possible.
Got it.
Yeah. And then I was originally going to put the assault element on the east side, but I'm going to try to hide them in the vegetation on the west side of this bend. Yeah.
So how do you want them organized? What are you doing? How many are going where?
So I've got 3 fire teams of 4.
3 fire teams with 4 people. So that's 12 trigger pullers, and then you, a radio guy, and a drone dude.
Okay.
And you can.
I'm going to place.
Yep.
I'm going to place 2 of the fire teams in a support by fire position, and
okay.
1 of them on the assault. Yeah. It's a trade-off, but if I stack a bunch of rifles, it might be worth it, even though they're vulnerable. Anyways, and then my security element. Well, I have myself and a drone operator and 1 more.
You have you, a drone operator, and a radio guy.
Okay. I will place security, 1 on the east side of the road and 1 on the very west. Probably the west bend on the vegetation side, which is south.
Right here?
Yeah. That guy's going to have a drone.
Okay.
And then another one is going to be on this like southeast side where the road exits.
Right here?
Uh-huh. And then I'd prefer to have them in teams. So in retrospect, I'd like to.
You can do whatever you want. So just
Yeah,
pause.
okay.
So everyone understands, and this is real life too. Same thing like when I was in the military. I'm sure they still train this. Your organic squad makeup, like you're in this team and you're in this team, is just so that you can issue orders quickly and we have firepower evenly distributed. You can pull like all the time. We would take all of the 249, the saw gunners, pull them off the teams and put them in a support by fire, and then leave the rest of the teams as the assault element with just a couple pulled off as security or whatever. Just throwing it out there. You can do whatever you want. There's no rules other than don't die and kill the enemy.
All right, sweet. So that support by fire element is actually going to be 1.5 fire teams, and then the other 2 are going to join the security elements, essentially.
Okay. So how many bodies? Is that 6?
Yeah, it's 6. That's right.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, you have 2 more now.
Kind of crazy because a grenade could take us all out, but
I mean, you're not really. That's just that's just because we're on a whiteboard. You're right. In real life, you'd have more dispersion. You'd be set up, and you'd probably have some dudes that weren't shooting so much, that were more like spotting and distributing ammo. Especially if you didn't move anybody around. So you might have a dude up there with like a 10-22 or a 7-inch Draco. He's probably not going to be doing a whole bunch of shooting from the support by fire.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's my positioning.
Okay, where do you want the other two guys? You have 2 more dudes now for security. You want another guy here, another guy here?
That's right.
Got it.
Yeah, just security pairs.
Okie doke.
One last thing, I actually might slide the most security pair farther down the road because I want better. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Is it known which direction they're coming from?
Not necessarily, right? So we're a guerrilla force, so we don't have like a whole S2 shop and intel agents and drone assets and satellites. We just like know Jasmine's Road all the time.
Okay, can I declare an SOP before potential contact?
Absolutely.
All right, so if we are engaged by an element that is an infantry squad or less, we will try to kill everyone. And then if there's anything larger than that, we're dipping. Everyone's bailing.
Okay.
That's the plan.
You're bailing, like you're not even going to engage, or bailing as soon as
we'll break contact.
Break contact. Got it.
Yeah.
Okie doke.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, squad leader?
I believe that's all. I'm going to hold the drone and launch it. I believe that's all. I'm going to hold the drone and launch it in response. Yeah.
You're going to launch the drone right now?
Well, no, I'm going to hold it.
You're going to hold it? Okay. All right. So you're in place for 2 hours, no activity. Do you change anything?
I will. Yeah, I'll send the drone out west.
Okay. So you push the drone out. The drone's in the air. It sees a large 6 APC convoy, but it chooses not to. There's a fork in the road about 500 yards to our west, and they choose not to go down this fork that leads to where we're at. They go down another one. And then another 15 minutes go by, and you see a single Russian military soft skin vehicle driving by itself, and it does turn down our fork of the road. So we'll be seeing that in about 30 to 60 seconds.
Sweet. I'm going to relay that information to, over radio, fire teams, and hold. No one make a move.
Okay. So we're all holding.
Low signature, and then I will initiate the ambush if they proceed down the expected path.
Okay.
In the support by fire element.
All right. You see the soft skin vehicle, Jeep style. I don't know what their brands are. It's there. It's going. Stop me at any point. It's driving 40 miles an hour. Still driving 40 miles an hour. Fire. Bang, 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 bang. Crashes off the side of the road. You see one guy get out and try to run, but he gets shot right here, KIA, and you have 2 other enemy on the opposite side, the safe side of the soft shell vehicle, returning fire with small arms. And everybody's opened up like crazy.
Excellent. All right. I will declare the support by fire element shift east.
Okay.
I'm going to move 3 at a time, though, so that we can maintain decent fire. This will be like delayed after about the initial barrage of 15 seconds or so.
Okay, so at 15 seconds, they've shifted.
Mm-hmm. And if they successfully plant, then I'll have the other remaining 3 shift east to match them.
Okay, so your support by fire is fully shifted. You're 30 seconds in now.
Okay, does it look? What do I see on the kill zone?
Yeah, the same thing. So the cars crashed. There's 2 dudes, probably with AKs, hunkered down real good, still returning fire. You know, as much fire as 2 dudes getting shot up in a ditch can. But they seem to they're still alive. You're still taking some shots here and there.
Gotcha. Okay, I will shift. Yeah, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to shift fires east on the support by fire element.
Okay, so your support by fire is pretty much cut off at this point. They're watching down this road off map, off to the east.
Oh, I see.
Right, so there's your support by fire. So now they are, if you're shifting east, they're basically off. They're just facing hard east now. And then you still have your.
Oh, sorry, I wanted to shift the element east and then shift fires so that it's off the kill zone.
Got it. So you want to move these guys here. So you want to take these 3, move them here. These 3, move them here. Okay, yeah, that's cool.
That's right.
So they're there,
yeah.
And they're still engaging.
Okay. All right, and now I shift fires off the kill zone.
Okay, fire ceased.
Okay, and then if I get confirmation from the assault element, then they're clear to proceed. And I think there's a danger zone. Okay, maybe I can use the drone. So I'll ask the drone to this might take too much time. Yeah, fuck it. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to send the assault element across the road.
Cool. So assault element crosses the road. Assault element crosses the road. 2 guys come across first. They come across immediately upon these 2 dudes getting here. You have 1 other enemy KIA goes down right there. The other 2 guys get across. They maneuver. Right as about the time they're getting a KIA, the last KIA, and all gunfire goes silent. You hear your drone operator over the road alert you that 9 APCs are approaching. They're about 2 minutes out. They're a half mile away from the fork in the road. That's probably where they're headed to lead them down where we're at. We don't know for sure because they're not at that fork yet. They'll be there in about 30 seconds.
Okay, I'm going to break contact moving north.
Okay.
So I'm going to have the support by fire element link up with assault and then proceed north.
Okay.
And upon crossing the road, I guess I don't have time. Yeah, we're going to beat feet and just run north.
Yeah, so everybody just takes off running. So cool. So all 6 of you guys get up, run across. You all link up. Once you link up, what else are you doing? Still just running north?
What's the terrain?
You can move through it, but reasonably thick vegetation. And your own paths to move through it, but there's no hard paths or anything. It's not like a bog, swamp, or anything like that. But you can move through it.
Yeah, I'm going to start off with both elements moving as fast as possible. And then once we get about 200, 300 yards away, I'll move in bounding pairs. And I'll slow it down.
Cool.
I'll alternate. Sorry, I guess it's called bounding Overwatch.
No, yeah, you're good. Team bounding pairs, bounding Overwatch. Yeah, I got you. Bounding as teams. So yeah, you do that. You haul ass. You did great. You managed to get out of there just before the APC. Any level of delay beyond that, they would have been able to show up and amass fires on you. Once you're in the safe zone, about a mile away, one of your guys from the assault element lets you know he didn't have time to do a bunch, but he did strip a field notes pamphlet out of the Jeep, and it looks like they were some pretty high-ranking Russian individuals, generals, or possibly more field officers like lieutenant colonels or something like that, majors. But you didn't really get a lot of usable intel or anything like that because you had to get out of there so quick. And my only critique, which, you know, there's no crystal ball, was that this arguably was a low-level target. You could have let this Jeep go past and possibly fucked up a supply line or something like that, which would have caused larger effect for the enemy force. That being said, you could have waited there for another 18 hours and not seen anybody. So maybe I'm wrong to say that. And you did manage. You picked a target that you could hit. You hit it, and then you got the fuck out of there. So
sweet. Thanks. That was fun.
Absolutely, brother. I think you did good. Anybody else got anything to add? Anything to think they would do differently?
I'll take critical feedback.
Make bigger maps. Always pre-plan. You go, I want to be op 4 in the background making decisions. Live Fighters Anonymous. If you want to be op 4, start your own channel, man. That's what I am. Well, you have your own channel, but start your own live streams where you do this. More people should do this. We have higher morals and zero discipline, expensive optics. We don't think we need to be using. No, Light Fighter. I paint out the scenarios as best I can before. Limited my technology and studio and stuff for now. My initiate versus left shift command was no longer than a minute. Yeah, absolutely. Ambushes happen fast. They happen. Everybody basically mag dumps 2 or 3 mags as fast as they can, rips their contact belt if we're working with belt feds, and that's a wrap. Alrighty. Scenario for you guys. Same scenario as the first one, but it's reversed, right? So you're at Walmart with your wife and your child. If you don't have a wife or a child, pick some loved ones or something that makes sense. Your sister and her kids, whatever, right? And this time you step away from the woman and the child and you go to another part of the store. And then you hear gunshots pop off. And it's an active shooter situation. What do you do? Do you attempt to make contact with your loved ones? Do you evade the situation? Do you go towards the shots to try to neutralize the threat because you know where that is, but not where your loved ones are at?
That last one's my guess. If you can't find him, it's party time.
Anybody else? Any clever ideas?
You might be spending more time looking for them than the active shooter. So I agree with the first guy.
Bring a whistle.
I think you go to the shop because the goal is to come away from the threat. You don't know where they are, but you know where the threat is. So you go to the threat. Try to deal with that.
Man, this marker smoked. Yeah, I tend to agree, guys. I think that's probably the right call, to go after the threat in hopes that that deals with it. Because you could be wandering around, right? Hopefully your wife and kid just get out of the store. So hopefully they're not even in the store. So wandering around forever is going to do you no good. All right, I need one squad leader for this one. Any volunteers?
Come on, somebody.
Somebody lead my squad to victory.
Look, it's going to be the OK Corral.
All right, I'll volunteer.
Wonderful.
Right
All
Beautiful
right.
masterpiece.
Yes, it's beautiful, isn't it? It's so lovely. The scenario here, boys, is that we are under, again, Russian occupation. Those fucking dirty Russians, they get us every time. So we're under Russian occupation, and we're a guerrilla force, and we have been utilizing drone warfare to great success. So much so that the Russians have started implementing countermeasures that rely on radio intelligence and massive power supplies and stuff like that to counter the drones. Don't ask me more science and sci-fi than that. Just go with it. So we are in an urban area, right? So this is an MSR, and this is kind of a smaller road. Over here is a park, and then this is a subdivision with a large drainage field right here. It's a lot deeper along this, or rather, bump that. This is a raised section, right? So this is the top of a hill that then slopes down on this side and on the other side with drainage stuff coming off of it. And the Russians have set up a massive antenna mast and satellite dish with a bunch of power supplies and stuff like that. So we have a 9-man squad, 2 4-man teams, and 1 squad leader. And our goal is to conduct a raid on this subdivision to knock this anti-drone conglomerate out so that we can have all of our drone operators launch a drone swarm on this subdivision that the Russians have taken over, and they've been using as barracks and command control center for several months now. So again, this is the main MSR. This is like a strip mall with businesses or buildings off to the other side. This is a subdivision on this side. Here's a smaller road adjacent, and then this is a park with like a jungle gym and a playscape and a slide and all that kind of stuff. So we have 9 dudes, 2 4-man fire teams, and a squad leader in 3 vehicles. So 3 guys per vehicle. Who's squad leader?
That's me.
You have any questions?
No.
All right. So
Okay.
how would you like to approach this? Would you like to approach with vehicles? Do you want to walk in on foot?
I think I want to walk in on foot. I want to put 1 fire team across the main road on the south, kind of aiming towards the hill.
Right here?
Yeah, on top of those buildings is what I'd like.
Okay.
I'd like 3 men, 2 to 3 men on top of that building. That way they can see what's coming from the north. They can see, all the entire road basically.
Absolutely.
All right. So I have 9 total men, correct?
You have 9 total men. And that reminds me, we do have civilian support. Everybody likes the fact that we're fighting the Russians and they hate the Russians. So generally speaking, the civilian population will be friendly and accommodating.
So we got some rooftop Koreans. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying we went and talked to this business owner, and he was like, "Hell yeah, you can climb up on top of my shop. Just don't say I said that." And we were like, "Cool,
sweet." Okay. I think I'd advance down towards the east and loop around the backside of that hill with 3 men, and then the other 3 advance to the north and try to scale it
like that."
Yeah, so 3 there. Yeah. I don't know how steep it is on the backside.
Yeah, this is just like this is just features just to like avoid flash flooding and help for drainage water and stuff like that. It's like 4 or 5 feet tall, the structure, the hilltop. You know what I'm saying? Nothing crazy.
So those 6 men scale, and they kind of fan out, spread out along the north, and along the north wall, and then along the east wall as well.
Okay.
Once they're in position, yeah, just kind of spread them out. Yep. And same thing on that side.
You immediately receive contact coming from
the houses.
From the houses. You're not exactly sure at first, but it's at least 3 or 4 houses, and it's from both the east and the north side.
Okay, so the men across the street, if they can, engage, and then I'd like engage on the guys that are coming from the east, or at least suppress fire. They may not have a line of sight, but they can at least shoot at those houses. And then,
so they begin to suppress. Your team leader makes the call to pull his team back. So his team pulls back to last covered position, which is right here. So now you have one team pulled back, one team out firing on these positions, and these houses have been so far, pretty effectively suppressed by our support by fire.
Yeah. Okay.
Our objective is to destroy this conglomeration. We have everybody has tools, sledgehammers, axes, crowbars. We just have to, cut the cables, fuck up the power supply, bend their antennas, et cetera, et cetera.
So at this point, I would take two guys that are across the street, maybe take two of them that are on the buildings, and have them cross the road and group up with the guys that cleared the houses on the east, and have them advance north and come around the corner and try to engage the guys that are up north.
So you want two of these guys to come down, link up with that team, and then try to go this way up north?
Opposite way, around the
this
other
way
side,
up north?
because they're going to clear those buildings. Yep. Clear those buildings, and then come around that corner and engage those targets.
Sure. Okay. So these two guys come down. They come down. This guy does his best to continue to suppress, but he's unable to be effective by himself. So we now have one friendly KA in the field. These two guys retreated back to a covered position. And you now have 5 guys up here, one dude up here with an almost orange hot barrel, one KA in the field, a 2-man team here, and a 5-man team here.
Yeah. Not a good situation.
Remember, as a squad leader, even though that's not a super high, you're not a field general, but you're the highest position on this operation. So while we're on this operation, there's no rules or whatever that you have to stick by, right? Whatever you decide needs to happen, whether this can happen or can't happen, we need to do this, we need to do that. It's on you. You're the guy that makes the decision. You're not bound to anything. Free your mind.
Yeah. So I think for the strength is in numbers at this point. So I would try to have the men group up somewhere in there. Yeah. The one guy that's on top of the roof, I don't think he'd be very effective by himself. So group up with those men.
All right. So do, as you're moving all of that, then you see we start getting entire fire teams with their fighting equipment on, coming out and trying to occupy the field. And now we are engaging people sporadically from this hilltop as enemy teams start to come out.
At this point, I would retreat. I would abort for sure.
Yep, I agree. So
yeah,
you would take off what way? How would you do it?
Probably towards the west, maybe southwest a bit, in between those last two buildings. Yep, just that way.
Okay, you managed to get out. You had to abandon the body, and you lost one guy. But as you know, everyone's gonna gasp to hear an American say this, but as a guerrilla fighter, that's real life probably. And mission unsuccessful. So we were unable to hit this location. And now that the Russians, we were we launched an operation, but we weren't successful. So the Russians in this area are going to be a bit more aggressive, and they're going to start bolstering their defenses. This is probably not going to be a soft target for us to hit any longer, et cetera, et cetera. But you did manage to call it when it needed to be called and not get your entire squad killed. So there's that as well.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. The big point is that on a raid you want to execute with speed. It's like an ambush on a fixed location. We've got like 60 seconds on target. We want to like get there and get the thing done before they even really realize, and then basically have to fight our way out of there because now they're starting to like wake up and figure out what's going on type situation.
Right. And I'm sitting there thinking in my head, how quickly could they have dismantled or, destroyed that antenna? Could that have been done while they were taking fire? Could it have been done by one man?
Sure. I probably would have. I think your idea to put guys on the roof was brilliant. Put some guys on the roof and then set up another position here as a support by fires, to have like dual support by fires, and then send in a 3-man team to just basically like kamikaze. Like they'll have rifles in case, but pretty much rifles slung behind your back, sledgehammer in hand. We're going to give you, 120 seconds of fucking intense covering fire that starts while everybody's asleep so they don't even know. And you're just going to go over there and fuck that shit up as much as you can and then run out.
Right.
Is probably how I would have ran it.
They're trying to weld on a Sherman.
Yeah, instead of trying to just set up shop on top of that hill, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, you were kind of trying to like establish a whole like, let's get in there, let's secure the area. Once the area is secure, we can work on maintaining security while we disrupt this. Like that's like a deliberate hold and clear operation. We don't have the manpower for that on a raid.
Right. It's more let's sabatage this and get out.
Yes.
There's no reason.
Yes.
It's not in our best interest to hold this position.
Exactly. Anybody else have any points they'd like to say? I like this ambush. Phone contact first. Threat needs to be taken out immediately. Not home from work yet. Could you've opened up fire on actual power station from? Yeah, that's another. Chris Marshall, couldn't you have opened fire on the actual power station from a different covered position? Yeah, as like a last ditch chance, if you can't get to it, that probably would have worked. 5.56 definitely can puncture some stuff, and if you put a hole through the right cord or the right power station, the right battery, the right computer chip, whatever, obviously you'll do it. But generally speaking, you'd be surprised at how many little holes you can punch through a lot of different stuff, and it magically doesn't hit anything important, and it continues to function pretty well. So you're not wrong, but ideally we'd like to like smash it into 100 little pieces rather than just shoot it a couple times. But as opposed to nothing, that would have been that could have been an option as well. My head wasn't even there, but that is true.
Yeah, I'd like to point out that I think HK was playing on hard mode because the bad guys were basically sitting in an L shape to start with.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
That's tough.
Absolutely. It wasn't an easy one. And he did good. This isn't just for everybody watching on YouTube, everybody that comes in. This isn't, there's never a right or wrong answer for, everything situation dependent. And because this is all a made up scenario that we're all thinking in our own heads, we're not even perfectly matching our scenarios from my head to y'all's head. And it's just, the whole point is just to get people thinking. As long as you don't do anything crazy or egregious, there's not really quote unquote wrong answers. This is just to get you thinking in a tactical headspace. So hopefully when you encounter some of these situations, if you ever do, it's not the first time you had to think about these considerations and topics. How's the audio? Everybody on YouTube, how's the audio for me and for Discord guys? Type it in the chat. How's it sound? And I have another scenario for you. If you were traveling with your wife, no children, right? So it could be, if it's not your wife, it could be your mom or your grandma or your aunt, whoever, your girlfriend. And you're kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and your car breaks down and you don't have cell service, and the nearest like gas station is 10 miles away. Excuse the dogs. So do you leave your spouse in the car and you go walk, or do you take your spouse with you to walk and play this with as much of your personal life as you can, right? So if you are married, does your spouse carry a pistol? Does that factor in? Does your spouse know how to use guns? Do you have a truck gun that you can leave with her? Do, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What would you do? You're broke down, no cell service, 10 miles from the gas station, you and a female who's not a super tough, badass type of person.
Stay put, probably.
Just stay put, both of you?
You know, time and weather permitting, I guess.
Sure. How long do you sit there? No, weather's not crazy. No crazy weather considerations. How long do you sit there?
Probably a couple hours until it's like we got to do something, or we're spending the night.
So you'd stay 24 hours before you decided to move?
Oh no, I meant like stay as long as you can until it's looking like we have to spend the night if we do something, you know, wait it out as long as you can.
Okay. How long do you reckon walking 10 miles would take?
Walking, I don't know, 4 hours. That sound right?
Okie doke. Anybody else have an opinion? Nope.
Well, barring. Sorry, go ahead.
All right, anyway, barring that there's no bad weather, you're not in a particularly dangerous spot, just start walking. It's not going to be that bad.
Sure. Do you, the both of you? Or just you?
Just me.
Do you just not, you're not that worried about it? She'll be all right. You're just going to walk. No big deal. And
Let's just.
I mean, you're good. It's not a bad opinion. I'm just making sure I understand. Go ahead, brother.
In a situation where there's no circumstances where I think they're in any kind of danger, yeah, just leave them. Like, is there bears? Is there a tornado? Is there a lot of crime?
Yeah, I mean, we'll correlate it to whatever's realistic for you in your area. Whatever's realistic for you in your area.
Yeah, I guess the realistic answer in my life in general area is they'll be fine, and you can just start walking.
Sure.
Like a tow truck will be there in like 3 or 4 hours, and they'll be fine. Like.
Yeah, did you say no cell service?
Correct.
It might be worth it to just escort her to the gas station. I don't know.
Sure.
Look, concealed and normal, casual. I don't know. It's a good question.
That's my primary concern is the other person being left alone, not knowing how to use a firearm, you know.
Right.
Sure. Do you guys talking? Do y'all have spouses?
I don't.
No, I got a girlfriend.
Does she know how to use a firearm?
You know what?
She has limited experience.
Limited experience. That's fair. Ooh. All righty. We'll We'll see how this goes. I need 2 squad leaders for this one. 2 squad leaders.
I can try again if no one else will.
I'll hop in. It's gonna be messy, but
you're good. Cool.
Yeah, that's what this is for. Figuring it out.
All right. So we are again occupied by Russian forces. The Russian forces are unable to have air support due to logistical issues. And every time they do get a bird in the air, our drone or ground to air through guerrilla forces smack it out of the sky. So for the most part, they don't really have any air support. You don't have to worry about any fixed wing coming down on you or anything like that. The American military is still active. Portions of America are still operational, just not where we live. We are currently under Russian occupation. And we were monitoring the standard guerrilla net of the radios, and we heard over the net that a U.S. Special Forces 3-man team that was doing a reconnaissance on a Russian vehicle checkpoint has been compromised, and they're requesting any local fighters to come escort them out. They're currently engaged. Each of you squad leaders immediately scramble your squads and you get on the net to roger up. And as you do that, you hear the other squad leaders doing the same. So you link up with each other and, let each other know you're both going to be responding so you can coordinate. Obviously, coordinating between squads will be slightly difficult as you've never worked together specifically before, but each squad can operate independently in support of each other very effectively. Your squads are 9 men. Those 9 men are traveling in 2 vehicles, 1 vehicle with 4, 1 vehicle with 5. So you have 1 vehicle with a 4-man team and a team leader, the other vehicle with a 4-man team and the squad leader. And you each have that. So 4 vehicles total. You each have 2. You each have yourselves and then 8 other men. And you are rescuing a 3-man special forces team. And all vehicles have the capacity to hold the passengers they have and take 3 more passengers. So anybody's car can pick these dudes up without having to do any sort of a bump plan. Assuming everybody's running trucks or SUVs, the dudes could just jump in the back of type situation.
Okay, before we start, I want to offer up my role again if someone wants to play.
Anybody else want to be a squad leader? Going once. Going twice. Squad 1, sold to the honey badger.
Okay.
All right. See if I can get this. Where are we? There we go. Okie dokie. So our 3-man special forces team is currently inside this building. They have been engaged and bounding, trying to break contact for several minutes now, but they are currently engaged in this building. They're engaged by a single Russian squad with roughly 12 people in it. So they're shooting off to the northeast across this parking lot onto buildings off the map, and they're taking sporadic fire coming at them. Squad 1, where do you want to bring your vehicles in? What do you want to do?
Can I communicate with Squad 2 first?
Yeah.
Okay. Optic, I want to hear your thoughts. What are you thinking?
Is that the only direction they're coming from? Is northeast?
Correct. So the checkpoint was like way up here off map, and they've been bounding back, and now they're just getting into map because I don't have a 9-foot whiteboard. So
yeah, totally.
Well, it seems like in the little lines in between the buildings, that's
parking lots, right? So this is kind of like a strip mall, and then here's parking lots. This is all pavement off, and then that's like up on the curb. Same thing over here, another strip mall parking lots, and this is like a large building with a large parking lot, large building, large parking lot.
Okay, and as far as we know, they are not like actively attempting to breach the building or something, right? Like
no. They have several hundred yards between them right now. 200 to 400 yards dispersion between them.
It seems like we can just pull up through the northwest parking lot, pull up to the building, they hop in, and we leave. Or are we actively trying to like eliminate?
Nope. To QRF mission, your mission is to just get these SF dudes and get out.
Yeah, pull up your Ubers here.
Cool.
Let's do that. Let's have both teams northwest parking lot vehicles dismount, set up positions facing northeast.
So
and then we can cross the danger area carefully.
Honey Badger, you park 2 Vics right here.
Yep.
Okay. And how do you say your name? Fooptic? Is that what's going on there? Yeah. Where you got your Vics at, dude?
You said we have 3, right?
Two in this scenario. Okay. Nine people, 2 Vics.
Probably. I think like south of that on the road, to cover them pulling out and leaving seems like a good spot.
I like that.
Facing, I don't know which way it's going, but just facing the way we're leaving, so that way you don't have to do some like 3-point U-turn to leave. That'd be embarrassing.
All right, and then Honey Badger, you're gonna cross this danger area.
Yeah, so they're currently under fire, so it's going to be a bit hasty, but I'll have everyone get out, scan for a few seconds, and then have one man cross the road while he's covered, and then he'll hold, and we'll have the rest of the element move one at a time to the east, and we'll cover the last man.
Okay.
And yeah, we should end up in front of the building, on the west side of the building that Special Forces are in.
Right. So we get one guy across, he holds there. Another guy comes across, he takes that position. This dude comes up in here, links up with the actual SF team. At this point, we get another dude across. The SF team's like, yeah, dude, cool. We got to get out of here. They're about 150 meters from us right now. They're moving ground quick. Now we have this whole team across, and we're fully linked up with the SF guys, and we're ready to roll.
Okay, I'm going to yell at them to get downstairs from the building and run south while my team sets up suppression northeast. Well, we got to locate them first, obviously, but.
So you want the SF dudes to move south?
That's right.
Okay, so they move south, and then your team picks up this sector of fire off this way?
That's right.
Cool. So this SF team, they collect up, they move south. You guys start engaging the Russians. The Russians are about 50 meters away now. They're just on the other side of this parking lot. You hear over the radio that the SF dudes are linked up with Futopics. Fruitopia over here. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. They're linked up with him, and they're ready to pull out if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's great. Tell them to leave, because our next move is to run west. This time we're just going to run to the cars and risk getting shot, because they're 50 meters away. We're going to beat feet for those cars. I'm going to send one element to run and another one to hold. So one car at a time, if that makes sense.
Sure. So these guys peel out. They're gone. They still are on the radio. They could turn around if you need them to. And then you want this team to come back to the car?
Yes. Wait. Oh, did I send one initially? Yeah, I did. Okay. Yeah. Then I'll have that team fall back. That's right. Okay.
So this team falls back. They fall back under fire. 2 guys take a round. But it's not catastrophic. They take a round to the shoulder or the bicep, something like that. They are loading up into this vehicle. Since they are out of the line of fire, this team immediately is able to pick up, and they start suppressing the Russians that are now breaching and entering the building that we were just in.
Excellent. All right. I'm going to have them. Yeah, I'm going to have the northern car drive west, Yes.
Cool. And then off map, it exits and hits the MSR?
Yep. Sweet. And then after that, the other one will leave the same direction.
Cool. So they're piling up. They take off. This car piles up. They leave under semi-effective fire, and the car gets shot up. The tires are shot out of it, and the back windshield's all shot out. But they do peel out of this parking lot and make it to the MSR, going thump, 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 riding on the rim.
Nice.
You want to do a bump plan from one vehicle to the other and abandon that vehicle?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, cool. So, 100 meters down the road, you do a bump plan. You abandon this vehicle, you get in that one, and you take off with minimal downside. You lost one vehicle, a couple guys took around, but everybody's alive. SF dudes are saved. You're America's fucking hero.
My not in a way to like retcon, I was kind of thinking too if my guys kind of in those bottom two buildings that they're kind of parked behind, that if they kind of hopped out, 10 feet from their car and just kind of covered in between the buildings, like they could 10 feet from their car and just kind of covered in between the buildings, like they could probably get pretty good point over the north where they were coming from as his team was evacing.
That would make sense.
Yeah, that could have been good. That could have been good for sure.
I think that was a mistake I made, was actually just leaving too early when we could have set up additional fire support.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
We should have spoke up, squad leader. You said, hell no, I dismounted my dudes.
You guys were yapping over there so much. I didn't want to interrupt.
My bad, brother. My bad. You're right. All right, we're gonna have one more whiteboard exercise. You want to be the squad leader for that one, dude? Fruitopia?
Oh, does anybody else want to?
Well, you didn't really get to do much on that one.
Yeah, that's true. Sure.
I actually need 2 squad leaders for this next one again. I'll make sure you're the primary squad leader. I'll do my best to not leave you out yet again.
I'll play second.
Who's that?
That's Lando.
Lando? Hell yeah,
second.
dude. Hell yeah. All right, so quick brainstorm question for everybody. You're chilling in your evening, chilling in your house in the evening, and all of a sudden your cell phone freaks out, pops up, federal emergency alert. Chinese sleeper cells have been activated and are doing mass shootings all across the country. And you then check, the Google machine, and you see that your local sheriff's department has said they've already encountered a handful of these individuals, and they're ordering everybody to shelter in place. And, arm yourselves and shelter in place immediately. What do you do for your life, your house, your family? What do you do? What steps do you take?
Just as a brainstorm?
Yeah.
Yes.
Probably first steps, get all the supplies out, make sure the magazines are loaded, weapons are ready. Anybody who's able to carry a weapon has a weapon, and hopefully some gear to go with it. And then take up positions, hopefully not all inside the house, have maybe 1 or 2 secure inside the house with a pistol. And then anybody who's able to walk around with our long rifles out on the lawn, the side yard, and just kind of hanging out, keeping outside security.
I would reach out to my neighbors and make sure that we're all on the same page and getting ready and trying to get access to the neighborhood watch and seeing if we can put the word out. And I'd help each other out as much as possible and fend off what we can instead of trying to go out and just bug out.
Yeah, count bullets, count food. If you got sandbags, set them up. If you got gifts to deliver that you can place, you know what I'm saying? You set those up too.
Definitely get with your local personnel for that too. Don't want to blow up the neighbor on accident.
Yeah, exactly. Let them know for sure.
But
I like the shelter in place idea, but I definitely think it's better to get with the people around you than it is to just lock down in your own house. You know, bug in, close the doors, don't answer for anybody. You gotta stay in contact with your community.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, I'm sorry.
No, go for it, dude.
Yeah, if you got really trusty neighbors, then like I would extend your defense network so you got some preliminary warnings and get folks up on the street out there. If you got radios, you hand them out. That'll just give you better SA. Yeah.
All righty. 2 squad leaders.
Not me.
Oh, I think it's supposed to be number 2. Yeah.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah. How do you say it again? Say it one more time for me. Foptic and Lando. All right. Foptic and Lando. You each have a 13-man squad with 3 vehicles. So that's 2 vehicles with 4 men with a team leader and their 3-man team, right? 4-man team total. And then you as a squad leader is in that 3rd vehicle with an entire team as well. So that's 5 people, 13 people total, 3 vehicles. You are tasked with transporting in this exact sleeper cell scenario that's happened. There are certain parts of the country that are seeming to be under more attack, and then there are other parts of the country that not only aren't under attack, but America has established like checkpoints and safeguards with the National Guard and stuff like that. So you are tasked with transporting your local whatever community, larger family, friend group, whatever have you, out of this contested area into a safe zone. So there's 2 squads. Each of the squads have 13 people, 3 vehicles, and you will be escorting a 20-vehicle non-combatant caravan with women and children and suitcases and fine china and all kinds of nonsense. And you'll be traveling down a main interstate to get to your destination. There's no enemy air support because it's a sleeper cell, so they weren't able to sleeper cell aircraft over here. But there are possible enemy convoys or checkpoints along the way.
Only question, do we have any kind of up armor?
No, it's all just the vehicles you have. I said all these vehicles, the best I can do for you is that you are able to hand pick these vehicles so they're all generally able to go off-road. Right? We're talking like 4x4 vehicles with nice tires, but no crazy modifications.
Okay, so they're all civilian vehicles.
All civilian vehicles, but they all can go off-road, including the 20 non-combatant caravan. You were able to get them in off-road, semi-off-road capable vehicles as well.
Okay. We have to take like a highway for this too?
For this scenario, yes.
Okay.
How are you going?
Obviously, we're probably going to need to combine our forces here, Optic.
Yeah, you're going to have to communicate with each other for sure. You can't just fly completely independently. You have to work together. Mm-hmm. So speaking to that, how do you want to place this convoy? We'll be going, we'll be traveling from west to east, primarily, hopefully on this road that's the correct direction of travel.
I mean, you would just set up a convoy like presidential style, right? Where you have like security in the front and the rear, and then somewhere in the middle floating around. How's that sound?
Yeah, doesn't sound terrible. So how'd you guys like to do that?
What are you thinking? I would think probably put a scout car in the front, a little ways ahead of the convoy, just to be checking for checkpoints. 2 security cars behind that, probably 250 yards. Yeah. Civilian vehicles, probably gonna load 15 or 20 of them behind the 2 first security cars. And just have the rest in the back. Well,
we'll probably do a security in the middle and then just stack the rest of them through. Have 2 more security at the back, but and then stack the other 2 in the middle of the civilians.
Okay. Is there like explosives threat at all?
Anything that like a infantry squad could have organic to them that they would be able to like smuggle over here and hide them in, you know, pots of rice like that in shipping containers. Yes, but they're not going to have like, you know, entire minefield set up or javelins or, you know, that's why aircraft isn't here for sure.
Okay. But
yeah, they might have like a rocket, or they might have a satchel of C4 or, you know, something along those lines. But those are going to be a limited commodity that they have. And remember, these individuals are also fighting the organized military as well.
Okay. And Lando, do you want to do them single file or occupy like 2 or 3 lanes? How do you want to do that?
We should probably stack them like 2 lanes just to bring the formation down in length.
Okay, that's what I was thinking too. So that sounds good. Yeah, and then I guess we just drive.
And we'll just convoy like that until the scout car designates something.
All right, scout car calls ahead. He can barely make it out, probably about a half mile away. It looks like 2 or 3 vehicles parked in the road with a small handful, no more than 10 individuals around him. Carrying guns, waving PLA flags. It's enemy combatants for sure.
Okay. All right. So we positively identified.
Is the median passable or just like knee-high concrete?
Right. No. So there's no hard barrier in the median. There is a grassy segment that separates you two, and then on the left and right are your standard hard highway barriers on your hard north and south. Sorry.
Okay. Well, I don't think like stopping and getting out is like a great idea. What do you think? You just want to try and go around and just like lay some shit down as you drive by, hoping they don't shoot something out?
With no up armor, that's not a very good guarantee. And if they start pumping into the civilian cars while we blow by them, that's going to be not a good day. I'm kind of thinking scout car and one of the lead security cars would pull up. Maybe not fully disembark, but stop and maybe just hold support. If the PLA starts firing on us, we at least have rifles ready downrange. And then we try to bypass. And that way, if they start shooting, we at least have somebody to shoot back, give them a target of, I don't know, higher importance than our civilian cars.
All right. So, Fooptik, you're the squad 1. So what are you going to do?
I guess, yeah, have one of the forward securities like join up with the scout vehicle and probably go in the left 2 lanes and provide cover. Are we stopping then?
No, the front 2 will probably we'll try to slow roll. We want to try and stay by them until at least some more security, more of our armed elements get to us. But
so just as a reminder,
these guys.
you have 2 13-man squads, and you're engaging an element of no more than 10 individuals.
Do we want to rotate all the cars up so we have all of the fighting force in the front for this?
That's up to you. a 13-man squad would probably wipe that with minimal casualties.
That's what I was kind of thinking, I guess, with the hint we got here. It seems like that might be the way to go.
So bring the full, or probably bring the middle car up if we can.
Yeah, middle and the other forward security, I guess, and just have like a 4-man or 4-vehicle thing. Everyone can just pop out and start shooting at stuff. That seems like the safest for the non-combatants.
Okay. So you have 4 vehicles up there with a lot. What's that? 13 plus another 4. So 17, 17 dudes up there shooting with a pretty good angle on the enemy. You definitely are amassing a lot of firepower. You got a couple visual enemy KIAs already, but you are still being sporadically engaged from these vehicles.
I think 2 of the vehicles going into the opposite lane of traffic and making a bit of an L so you can move up on them is a pretty good idea.
You want to swing the back 2 around onto the opposite lane of traffic and swing them all the way through? Or you want to pull 2 from the front?
Oh, that's a good idea too. And then once you have like a full surround around them, then the civilians can drive through on the opposite lane and essentially pass freely, I guess, if everything's like locked down already.
Yeah.
Minus.
So I think as the.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. So as the front 4 are engaging, we'll bring the back 2 into the opposite side of the highway. GWOT.
Up here?
And bring them up in, and we'll bring them up in the closest lane to our side, the correct side of travel, to form an L shape, and we'll annihilate the enemy.
Okay. Yep. You pull them up. You begin to engage. You immediately get some more enemy KIAs. For the most part, all the fire ceases. You see one guy get in one of the vehicles and immediately start to speed in this direction, west, down the highway.
Can we catch him before he takes off?
Probably not. You're all dismounted. You're probably not going to hop in there and catch up to him. I mean, is that, you tell me what you want to do. No, you're probably not. He's already driving, so you're probably not going to get into the car and then drive him and be there before. No. You can chase him down if you want to do that. That's an option.
But I think we have enough guys up there that if there's one dude and we have 35, 40 meters of separation, I don't think that enemy driver is going to make it very far with how many riflemen we have up on those 4 vehicles.
So you just continue to engage. You don't send anybody after him. That's the answer.
I'm fine with that. I assume we have like
you got a fuck ton of people shooting at him. You have a fucking ass. These people are probably cut off now, but you have whatever this is, 17 plus dudes at this point. I forget exactly. Okay, so you shoot this car up. It comes to a careening halt on the side of the road and then explodes like a V-bid. It's close enough to the friendly vehicles that you take some vehicle damage and have to execute a bump plan. Everybody's all upset because they had to leave their fine china behind. But no individuals. You took no friendly casualties at all, and you're able to proceed on your way. 18 civilian Vic strong.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think you guys did great. I think this was a pretty clutch move. The only thing I would have done was I probably would have tried to leave at least 1, if not 2 cars back here to protect you. And if you do get a squeak that runs away, I don't want to have 200-300 yards separation between all of my guns and all of my kindergartners. So, but
yeah, that was in the back of my mind. But with so many guns front on a stationary checkpoint,
and that's how it goes, guys. If there's always a shoulda, woulda, coulda. Everybody always has their own opinion. You guys did good. I don't want to give the wrong opinion with everybody. Like I'm always like, actually, you should have done this. I'm just trying to talk about things, get everybody to think about stuff.
That is a very good point.
That was kind of tough.
Yeah, you guys did great. How long have we been going? A little over an hour. That's all I got for the tactical games, but I don't have to hop off. If anybody has any questions or anything like that, we can talk for a second.
Thanks for doing this, like with the community and stuff. It's pretty cool. I enjoy the brain teasers. I don't really get anything like that, you know?
Yeah, this is definitely an area that I saw lacking in the community. I was happy to finally do something about it. That's a good one, Stefan. He said back when I was talking about breakdown, and he said here's another one. A car stops that you can help you, but they only have room to take one person. Do you tell them, no, I'm good, never mind? Do you tell them, hey, just you drive to the gas station and tell the gas station we're back here and hope that all those people do what they're supposed to? Do you then get in the car and leave your wife or whatever? Because now it's only going to be 5 minutes instead of 5 hours. It's an interesting
That's a good point, yeah. Because if it only takes you 10 minutes, that's...
Interesting thoughts. Interesting thoughts.
I gotta go, but thanks again.
Yeah, absolutely, brother.
You're a fucking gangster.
Thanks, dude. Thanks for showing up. Yeah, Dom, absolutely, dude. These, as far as I'm aware, they're called tactical decision-making games. I'm sure there's probably some resources online for it, but you can change up, the setting, the scenario. Are we a guerrilla force? Is it near peer? Is it the end of the world? Who the enemy is, what our mission is, what the terrain that we're around is. Unlimited options. Start sharing the lives to your buddies and other platforms. That would be helpful if I had friends, Necro. But unfortunately, I don't. Alrighty then, boys and girls. Seems like this is pretty wind down. So I'm going to go ahead and call it. Going to be doing this weekly, hopefully. So I'll see all of y'all. Same time, same place, same platforms. Hop in the Discord. Anybody that's watching this, if you haven't already. Appreciate all you guys for coming on here and talking on the whole internet to everybody. And see y'all next week.
Thanks, man.
All right, thanks. Have a good night.
Have a good night, man.
Later, dudes.
Take care, guys.
Thank you, guys.